Hey all, Aiden here, going for a very normal video today. Can't be in lore mode all the time, especially now that I'm actually just kind of writing stories within the world of Trench Crusade, because that actually takes a bit of time if you want to do anything about it well. So not everything is going to be lore driven, obviously, because we're running low basically on official lore, so I'm kind of just making up my own. Today's video is just quick little updates that people might be interested in. First of all, the Kickstarter. I get asked a lot in the comments if I know when the Kickstarter will be. I do not. I have no idea. Tuomas yesterday or early this morning, I honestly can't remember which. I didn't sleep much. I was very busy. He answered a question, any info about next Kickstarter, and he said just a tiny little bit of wait left. So probably going to be finding out some launch details pretty soon, which sounds fantastic to me. I'm a big believer in the more time people can have for exactly when the Kickstarter is going to launch, the better, because it gives people time to budget. The world is very expensive right now. Inflation runs unchecked, I think, for quite a lot of us due to all kinds of economic reasons that I'm not going to go into, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, just a little bit of warning about when the Kickstarter is going to be so people can get their pennies together would be fantastic, I think, for a huge amount of the people that are interested. So it's really looking like we're not going to have to wait too long to find out more, which is fantastic. I'm personally extremely excited for the Kickstarter. I got quite lucky in noticing the first Kickstarter and just kind of jumping in and having my interest in the game in general kind of spurred along by that, and then being very excited, I guess, when I saw that Tuomas was the person who was going to be writing rules and developing it out into a fully fleshed out game, because I'm a big fan of Mordheim and what has been ever since I was a kid when I was playing it when it first launched, not to age myself too severely. So one of the things that's going to be coming, I guess, with this new Kickstarter is the 6th faction. We will finally be getting some details thereof. So we know we have New Antioch, the Trench Pilgrims, the Heretic Legion, the Iron Sultanate, and the Black Grail. Now, this is hardly scientific or anything, but I ran a poll on the channel, and quite a few people are down with New Antioch. I think it's because the armor designs are dope. I think we're all just used to painting armor to a degree. That's one of the reasons why I find them incredibly interesting. And then came the Iron Sultanate, because you can't deny the drip. Then the Trench Pilgrims, the Heretic Legions were just after that, but quite close. And then the Black Grail. So basically all three good factions, top 3, and then the bad factions, bottom 2. So a third bad faction sounds like a really good idea. And there's kind of clues all over the place, and it's all but guaranteed, I guess, to be some brand of a demonic faction, because the demonic keyword shows up a couple of times in the rules, but it's never actually used on troops. So in the combat medics finish the fallen wording, there's, due to their knowledge of anatomy and physiology, medics are experts at inflicting debilitating injuries and excruciating pain. Unless the target has the keyword demonic or Black Grail, add +1 bonus dice. And there's lots of units, obviously, in the existing rules with the Black Grail keyword, because everyone who's in the Black Grail gets that keyword. So they might be demonic in nature, but they don't have the demonic keyword. So highly likely that it will be the demonic faction. And then, of course, we've got under the morale rules, fighting against the Black Grail is a terrifying prospect. All morale tests taken when fighting against any Black Grail warband are done with -1 dice, unless the opposing warband is Black Grail or a demonic warband. And we don't have anything about the demonic warband, so let's roll. I would be delighted with something quite aesthetically different to what we got, and I'm not fancy, so like lots of muscles, lots of speed, lots of blades, lots of melee options, and kind of chunky armor is what I'm about. But I'm really curious to see what they do, because the Black Grail designs that I've seen so far have been quite interesting, and in my head, I wouldn't get to where they get to, that very insectoid thing. So that's pretty cool. I think I've been inflicted by a lot of the kind of rotund and gluttonous nature of that kind of rot and decay in the way it's explored in art and gaming and things of that nature, rather than necessarily the insectoid route that a lot of it goes, which I really like. So I'm really curious to see, is it a demonic warband? It's going to be our 6th warband. What's it going to be like? What are the minis going to be like? I'm incredibly excited for the Kickstarter. I'm likely, unless it's like extremely financially prohibitive, I'm likely to just go whatever gets me all the minis is probably what I'm going to do. Part of that is because I have a serious addiction to miniatures that I find very hard to control sometimes, and then part of it is it's just beneficial to me, people in my situation, to have all the minis, because once they're out I can do painting tutorials on all of them and stuff of that nature. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm very excited. That's the kind of Trench Crusade stuff out of the way. The other thing I want to talk about, which people who don't jive with anything non-Trench Crusade on here, you can book. I have a enormous range of interests across all areas of the hobby. I've been doing Trench Crusade because the way my brain works is I hyperfixate on stuff for a little while and absorb the shit out of it, and this has just been really enjoyable to me. I've really enjoyed the communication with the community, and it's been nice to have some growth rolling on the channel, and it's been super surprising to have an unreleased indie board game, war game, tabletop game, miniature game, whatever way you wish to describe it, suddenly driving a lot of growth on my channel, and that's just hilarious in a way. So I can't help but lean into it because I have that type of personality. But I also love a lot of other stuff. There's a game currently in development by Andy Chambers and Gav Thorpe that I'm also kind of nerding about, and I plan on doing a video on and just trying to introduce a few people to. There's going to be some painting videos and things of that nature. There's going to be some long scale hobby projects. Like, I really want to put together, I've been threatening myself with this forever, I really want to put together a cool, like, 2nd edition Chaos Army. Essentially the 2nd edition Chaos Army I always wanted when I was a kid, but could not have. So I plan on, like, doing that now and converting and kit bashing stuff. Especially it's so easy now because of all the heresy stuff. Like, that gives such a cool base, I think, for a potential Chaos Army. But yeah, basically there's a ton of shit that I want to do, and I just want to explore and have fun and enjoy the hobby. And I hate and will always hate the idea of limiting my interest or anything like that. I just want YouTube to be a place where I enjoy stuff. I don't want to kind of get caught up in the idea that, oh, I better do a little lore video today because it will do more views, or any of that kind of shit. I'm just going to be doing what I do, and hopefully you all have a bit of fun and stick around. But yeah, like, obviously there'll be plenty of Trench Crusade content, but there will be other things. Like, do not make the mistake of in your head thinking I'm a Trench Crusade YouTuber. I am a YouTuber who will be doing some Trench Crusade. So what I might do is a poll, because I'm working on some, like, big ass projects that just can't live basically on this channel. I'm working on a very expansive cyberpunk lore project because I've always loved Cyberpunk 2020, the game, and, you know, Red is pretty okay, but that universe, like Mike Pondsmith's Cyberpunk universe, is something that really interests me, and I want to do something very challenging, very artistically challenging and technically challenging in that area. So I'm working on that. But I would love to do here on this channel potentially like some Mordheim lore, because that's dope as shit. Maybe some Warzone Mutant Chronicles lore, because that lore is crazy and not many people actually know about that game. But I would, you know, I would love to just do like random lore shit here if people were down for it. So I might do a poll. I think a poll on the community tab will be a good way to approach that and see what people want to do. But yeah, and it will all be like different vibes. I'm not going to be doing my super serious, like, I know some people don't like the voice, and that's kind of fine if you don't like the delivery on the Trench Crusade lore stuff, but like, I'm literally talking about God and Satan and demons eating faces and cloned Jesus meat. It's not going to be like, hey YouTube, it's your boy, you know, it's not going to be that kind of shit. I would like to give it a little bit of dramatization, just because I find that to be fun and it makes me feel awkward, and I'm the kind of person who thinks if something makes you feel awkward, you should probably do it because it's challenging your image of yourself on some level. So I don't really know how else to expand upon that idea other than that's genuinely how I feel. If something makes you a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit awkward, if it's 100% opt in, you should probably opt in, right? Because you're challenging yourself. And that's how those like dramatized videos make me feel. So yeah, I don't know what I'm even wondering about now at this point in time, but just a quick little normal, as I said, video, very briefly talking about some plans for the channel, what may come, what may not, all kinds of stuff. A lot of this boils down to work. For those who may not know, like, basically my busyness depends entirely upon the release calendar of video games, because that's the business that I'm in. So things are going to get pretty rowdy the end of this month, because there's going to be Elden Ring, and that's a lot of work for me. And the start of next month is like Zenless Zone Zero, which I'm really looking forward to, and that's going to be a lot of work for me too. So yeah, I will figure out basically what I'm doing, and I will do my best to keep you all updated and to keep you as entertained as I can. Most of all, I just really appreciate people taking the time to watch. It's fun and interesting, and yeah, I'm just having a really nice time, and I appreciate the audience. So thank you all so much for watching.